Praise the Lord, my beautiful, blessed souls. We are back with another word, bruised and not broken. Oh, this one is going to be a lengthy one. I may have to do part 1 and 2. This is Dueteronomy 28, chapter 28. If anyone ever read this one, this is where the blessings and the curses. And this is going to explain a lot of what we see in the world today. It's also going to give us more of a revelation as to who God is actually speaking to when in reference to the original children that he has chosen to be his children, the original Jew, Hebrew children Israel that he took for himself, because there has been a lot of speculation. I believe Stephen Darby was on a lot. He was on to a lot of information right before he died. I find it very weird and strange that he died right before that Negro Land tour that he was supposed to do, or right around the time, but it would have released, which he was doing, a lot of information that a lot of people didn't want us to find out about. Also, when it comes to who Jesus is, what they look like, the chosen people, we already know Russia had already put out some stuff about that, letting us know. So when we sit here and we look at Trump and we look at all of the world, we need to pay attention to what exactly is going on here. I don't know. I know a lot of people have done this, but they do not go into it in detail. This is long, it is lengthy, it is a lot to cover. I'm going to try to do the best that I can. If I have to do part 1 and 2, I will, just to get through it. But it is information that we so desperately need right now, especially with everything that is going on in this world, which is mainly a lot of distractions from finding out what's really real, what's really true, and more than anything, putting it in action, because we must understand it's not even necessarily lack of knowledge. It's when we do it, are we going to use it when we get it, and are we going to put it to work for ourselves? Because having it and not using it, not doing anything with it, is not going to help us. So let's get to it. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to get into this, because this is going to be a lot. I would advise you to go yourself. I would love for you to share it, like it, share it, subscribe to this channel, especially this video right here, because it's going to explain a lot of precepts that we have had, things and notions that we thought about ourselves, especially as Black people, that we were told, we were conditioned, we were enslaved with, and it's going to bring about a lot of information that we was hidden. Or that we choose not to pay attention to. So let's get into it. It's kind of lengthy. Okay, this is Dueteronomy chapter 28. Remember, blessings and curses. He set out the curses. He's going to explain, and we're going to see. And if you faithfully obey the voice of the Lord your God, being careful to do all his commandments. Remember, he gave them the commandments. Really, there's 600 or something, but it's the 10 because those are Levitical law, that I command you today. The Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you. So this is the blessing. If you obey, though, the voice of the Lord your God, what did he tell you to do? Do not lie, steal, cheat. Remember, look at the 10 commandments. What did he say? For anything, no other gods, idolatry, love the Lord your God. All of these things. So these are contingent. And if not, they're going to bring the curses, which if you do not obey, if you do not, this is a covenant, a contract we enter into. Guess what? You must obey. You must keep up your end, your half of the deal. God is providing with this. He's promising you this. At this end, you need to provide this. This is where reciprocity comes in. No one gives to not get anything back. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the field. Remember that. So when you think about what he is saying, in the city and the field, you shall be blessed. Blessed shall be the fruit of your womb. What does that say? And the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle, and the increase of your herds, and the young of your flock. So that means your land will be blessed. You will be blessed. Your womb will be blessed. Meaning you, your children, your cattle, meaning, everything is going to be blessed. Your money, your mental, all of these things. Blessed shall your basket and your kneading bowl, food. All of these things is looking at what we have in this world that we're struggling, they have us struggling to get and do. Why? Because we're not following these guidelines. We're up under the curse. We're not obeying. And that is why. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you in one way and flee before you in 7 different ways. This is I love what this scripture. It's one of my warfare scriptures. You need to pin that when you're praying. This is one of them, the warfare scriptures. The Lord will command the blessings on you in your barns and in all that you undertake. So just think about that. This is how we live the abundant life here on earth as it's supposed to be in heaven. Remember, that's the kingdom come will be done on earth. So we're supposed to live like this on earth as it is in heaven. So the Lord will establish you as a holy people unto himself. Undertake, and he will bless you in the land that the Lord your God has given you. The Lord will establish you as a people holy to himself, as he has sworn to you. If you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. That's if. And all the peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. And the Lord will make you bound in prosperity, in the fruit of your womb, and in the fruit of your livestock, in the fruit of your ground, meaning that your children be able to bear children. Remember this. Curses if you can't, within the land that the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. The Lord will open to you his good treasury, the heavens, right? Pour them out, windows of heaven, to give the rain to your land in its season and to bless all the work of your hand. So that means drought is considered what? It is considered a curse. And you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. This is another one of my warfare scriptures. Pen that because that's good for your, And the Lord will make you the head and not the tail. This is another one. And you shall only go up and not down if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, being careful to do them. And if you do not turn aside from any of the words that I command you today, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. Now, what do we see in these countries? Famine, pestilence, all of these things. What do we see? The worship and practice of what? Many gods. But if you will not obey the voice of the Lord your God, or be careful to do all his commandments and his statutes that I command you today, then all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Now he's specifically speaking to Israel. But when we look at the world, we're going to get to that. Cursed shall you be in the city. So this is where the curses come in. If you do not obey, this is where he's at. So the blessings is blessings, but there's certain curses, and this is where, if you will not obey the voice of the Lord your God, be careful to do all his commandments and his statutes I command you today, then all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Cursed shall you be in the city, and cursed shall you be in the field. So think about that. Wherever you go, you be cursed. Cursed shall you be in your basket, your kneading bowl, your food. Cursed shall you be in the fruit of your womb, meaning bearing children, and the fruit of your ground, and the increase of your herds, meaning whatever you're trying to do in life, and your young flock. Cursed shall you be when you come in, and cursed shall you be when you go out. Do you see what this is? It is the opposite of the blessing. The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and frustration, and all that you undertake to do until you are destroyed and perish quickly on account of the evil of your deeds, because you have forsaken me. So the Lord will make the pestilence strict to you until he has consumed you, stick to you till it has consumed you off the land that you are entering to take possession of it. So remember, all of these things will stick to you. So everywhere you go, you can move, you can do this. It doesn't matter. Wherever you go, this is what's going to follow you. Whatever job you have, whatever you're trying to do, this is where this coming. Okay, so now the Lord will strike you with wasting disease and with fever and inflammation, fiery heat, with drought, with blight, and with mildew. So when you see heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, blood pressure in your family, killing folks off, cancer, curses, and the heavens over your head shall be bronze. Okay, hold on, wait. The Lord will strike you with wasting disease and with fever, inflammation, and fiery heat, and with drought, and with blight, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. So these are the things that are going to kill you off, and your livestock and whatever else. And the heavens over your head shall be bronze, and the earth under you shall be iron. Wow. The Lord will make the rain of your land powder, so nothing will prosper. You will plant seed, it won't grow. From heaven dust shall come down on you until you are destroyed. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way and against them, and flee 7 different ways before them. So this is the opposite. And you shall be a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. And your dead body shall be food for all birds of the air and for the beasts of the earth. and there shall be no one frighten them, no one to frighten them away. Now, when we think about especially black people and the way that their bodies used to hang from trees, even still at times to this day, when we think about what this is talking about, pay attention to who he is talking to. You shall go out one way, and your enemies shall flee, they shall overtake you. Why? Because it was the opposite. But because of your disobedience, this is how you end up. Your dead body shall be food for all the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and there shall be no one to frighten them away. Now remember, it said that they shall come out against you in one way, and you shall flee before them in 7 different ways. Why? Because this is going to be them having this chain yokish bondage over you. The Lord will strike you with the boils of Egypt. See, remember, this is because they went back to serving many gods. He removed them from that. He delivered them from that. Do not go back to that. So the Lord will strike you with boils of Egypt, and with tumors and scabs and itch, of which you cannot be healed. The Lord will strike you with madness and blindness and confusion of the mind. This is the mental disease, mental health, all of these type of things. Please understand. Children being born of these diseases, such as autism and different things, we must pay attention. Why? These are the curses of what? Disobedience. And you shall grope at noonday, as the blind grope in darkness, and shall not prosper in your ways. You shall be only oppressed and robbed continually. So that means, just think about your life, especially as black people. And that's not just for black people, but I'm saying specifically because he was speaking to Israel at this time. And there shall be no one to help you. So when we think about no one being there to help us, you shall betroth a wife, but another man shall ravish her. Do you think of that? You shall build a house, but you shall not dwell in it. Wow, you shall plant a vineyard, but you shall not enjoy its fruit. Where do we see this? It's not just black people now, but he was specifically speaking to them. Your ox shall be slaughtered before your eyes, but you shall not eat any of it. Your donkey shall be seized before your face, but you shall not restore, it shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, but there shall be no one to help you. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another people, while your eyes look on and fail with longing for them all day long. But you shall be helpless. A nation that you have not known shall eat up the fruit of your ground and all of your labors. What? And you shall be only oppressed and crushed continuously, so that you are driven mad by the sights that your eyes see. The Lord will strike you on the knees and on the legs with grievous boils of which you cannot be healed from. The sole of your foot to the crown of your head. Remember, he blesses the hands, the crown of your head is to the sole of your feet, but then it will be cursed now. See, this is what this is. Pay attention. The Lord will bring you and your king, whom you set over you, to a nation that neither you nor your fathers have known. And there you shall serve other gods of wood and stone. What do we see? And you shall become a horror, a proverb, and a byword among all the peoples where the Lord will lead you away. You shall carry much seed into the field, and shall gather in little, for the locust shall consume it. Cankerworm, caterpillar, palmerworm, locust. Think about the crops. They eat them up. When you plant, you shall not reap it. See? This is what it's about, the devil sowing the tares and the weeds and the chaff. This is that. You shall plant vineyards and dress them, but you shall neither drink of the wine, nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. So that's like working like an elephant and eating like an ant. This is what you're not seeing any of the fruits of your labor. This is what this is. You shall have olive trees throughout all your territory, but you shall not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olives shall drop off. You shall father sons and daughters, but they shall not be yours, for they shall go into captivity. What? The cricket shall possess all your trees and the fruit of your crown. This is why you got to pray against these things. The sojourner who is among you shall rise higher and higher above you, meaning other people will come and do better. And you shall come down lower and lower. He shall lend to you, and you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you shall be the tail. Do you see how this goes? All these curses shall come upon you and pursue you and overtake you till you are destroyed, because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God, to keep his commandments and his statutes that he commanded you. And they shall be a sign and a wonder against you and your offspring forever, because you did not serve the Lord your God with joyfulness, gladness of heart, because of the abundance of all things. Therefore you shall serve your enemies, whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger and thirst, in nakedness and lacking everything. He will put a yoke of iron on your neck until he has destroyed you. Think about what significance these things are, especially for Black people. The Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from the end of the earth, swooping down like what? The eagle. A nation whose language you do not understand. A hard-faced nation who shall not respect the old or show mercy to the young. It shall eat of the offspring of your cattle and the fruit of your ground until you are destroyed. It also shall not leave your grain, wine, or oil, incense of your herds, or the young of your flock until they have caused you to perish. What? They would not allow it to increase. They increase. Ooh, they shall besiege you in all your towns. What? Until your high and fortified walls in which you trusted come down throughout all your land. And they shall besiege you in all your towns throughout all your land, which the Lord your God has given you. And you shall eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters. Now, they said they putting a lot of this stuff in what? McDonald's. They putting this in our food. They're making us eat people. Do you not see this? Whom the Lord your God has given you in the siege and in the distress with which your enemy shall distress you. The man who is the most tender and refined among you will begrudge food to his brother, to the wife he embraces, and to the last of the children whom he has left. So he will not give to any of them any of the flesh of his children whom he is eating, because he has nothing else left in the siege and in the distress with which your enemy shall distress you in all your towns. The most tender and refined woman among you, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground, because she is so delicate and tender, will begrudge to her husband she embraces, to her son and to her daughter, her afterbirth that comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, because lacking everything she will eat from them. She will eat them secretly. In the siege and in the distress with which your enemy shall distress you in your towns. Who does it sound like? Who does this sound like he's speaking to? What group of people have all of this going on? We're not going to talk about the whole world, but what group of people specifically? Pay attention. If you are not careful to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear the Lord, fear this glorious and awesome name. Name the Lord your God. Then the Lord will bring on you, your offspring, extraordinary afflictions severe and lasting, and sickness grievous and lasting. And he will bring upon you again all the diseases of Egypt. Wow. So what are the diseases of Egypt? The ones we did not have? Of which you were afraid, COVID-19 and all the stuff they do, and they shall cling to you. Every sickness also and every affliction that is not recorded in the book of this law, the Lord would bring upon you until you are destroyed. Whereas you were as numerous as the stars of heaven, you shall be left few in number, because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God. And as the Lord took delight in doing you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will take delight in bringing ruin upon you and destroying you. And you shall be plucked off the land that you are entering into to take possession of it. He's speaking to his people. What group of people were enslaved 400 years twice? Pay attention. They talk about, oh, this one is no, the people over there are not who they say they are. And we see this. And the Lord will scatter you among all peoples from one end of the earth to the other. And there you shall serve other gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your fathers have known. Who's been scattered among the whole earth? Transatlantic slave trade has let us see that the Black people have been scattered, taken all over the world. And among these nations you shall find no respite, and there shall be no resting place for the sole of your foot. But the Lord will give you there a trembling heart and failing eyes and a languishing soul. Your life shall hang in doubt before you. Night and day you shall be in dread and have no assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, if only it were evening. And at evening you shall say, if only it were morning, because of the dread that your heart shall feel, and the sights that your eyes shall see. And the Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt, a journey that I promised that you should never make again. So, and the Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt. So where they went back into bondage. A journey that I promise you would never make again, and there you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyers. Let's get into it. That is Deuteronomy chapter 28. I need for y'all to get into y'all word. Black folks especially, because honey, God is talking to us. He's coming back for his people, but who are his people now? His own people turned against him. So Jews and Gentiles alike are able to enter into the kingdom. Doesn't matter race, creed, color, or religion, but it is what it is. Let's look at this. This chapter is very large exposition of two words in foregoing chapter, the blessings and the curse or cursings. Those were pronounced blessed in general that were obedient, and those cursed that were disobedient. But because generals are not so affecting, Moses here descends to particulars and describes the blessings and the curse, not in the fountains. These are out of sight. And therefore the most considerable, yet least considered, the favor of God of the spring of all blessings, and the wrath of God the spring of all the curse. But in the streams, right, the sensible effects of the blessing and the curse, for they are real things and have real effects. He describes the blessings that should come upon them if they were obedient, meaning personal, family, and especially national, for in that capacity, especially if they are here treated with, the capacity they are treated with. Then he's here more largely described the curses which would come upon them if they were disobedient, such as it would be the extreme vexation. This is utter ruin and utter destruction at last. This chapter is much to the same purport with the Levitical 26, setting before them life and death, good and evil. The promise in the close of the chapter of their restoration upon their repentance is here likewise more largely repeated. Thus, as they had a precept upon precept, and in the repetition of the law, so they had line upon line, a repetition of the promise and threatenings, and these are both here and delivered not as sanctions of law, what should be conditionally, but predictions of the event that would be certainly that for a while the people of Israel would be happy in their obedience, but that in length they would be undone by their disobedience, and that therefore it is said all those things would come upon them, both the blessing and the curse. So God was forewarning them. He already knew, he already told them, but okay, let's get into it. We are going to get into this because this is a lot to get into, and I'm already, so far, this might be a long video, but it will be a good one. I mean, you can preach and teach on this. Like, seriously, this is one that is like, it's just so much information on this. And I am going to, where is this? Okay. Because, all right, where is this? Okay. All right, here I am. Now, okay, so what I did was, because I'm going to tell you when I look at the Willie Lynch letter, which is what I have been speaking about for a long time. And I told you at the end I was going to, do something, and I was looking into some things, and it's a lot, but I'm going to try to condense it into whatever I can now. If I have to expound, I will. But this is going to be a blessing. I would love for you to get Deuteronomy chapter 28. Get you a copy of the Willie Lynch letter, and you're going to look at it. Why? Because it's going to explain a lot. It's not just an American thing. This is a world thing. It's not just a natural thing. It's not at all. This is very much a spiritual thing. So this is a massively layered generational comparison. We're going to look at this. We're going to compare Deuteronomy 28 to the Willie Lynch letter. We're going to describe two opposite systems of generational formation. Deuteronomy 28 is God's covenant blueprint for generation blessing and or generational curses based on alignment. So remember, this was to them, his people that he took out of Egypt, which are black people, black American people, to be quiet. Not just black American, but for the most part. Why? Because we're scattered. And Jesus is not white, but all of that, so we're gonna get that out of there. Talking about white man's Bible. No, the Bible, Ethiopian Bible, is the original Bible. It was already out. It was already there. They already had their God before Christianity even came. And this is why I said I'm wondering, because when I look at Christianity and what it looks like now, it is not looking like what it did before. And I believe it was created also to create division, meaning, because is it more about the people, the buildings, and all of that, or is it about following Christ? Because this is about following Christ. It's not about being a Christian. It's not about going to church. It's not about being in buildings. That's what the Sanhedrins, that is what the Pharisees and Sadducees did. Christ was never for all of that. He was for what he came for, which was following him. So here we are going to get into this. God's covenant blueprint for generation blessing, generation curse based on alignment. Willie Lynch was a man. He made a blueprint for generational destruction, division, and psychological bondage. And this is one of the sorceries or the witchcrafteries, because this is going to show what they believe in. And this is not just a here America thing. This is a them united Satan worship thing. Their laws, they're all of these things, because we saw how God created the stuff, told us when we were by these nations, he desecrated some of them. Why? Because they were practicing these other things. This is why he removed them, why they were doing these other things. And he specifically told them not to. Even when you get do not mingle, do not mix with them. But what do we see, especially in Christianity? The mixing and the mingling. You can't tell who's who and what is what. Okay, so let's get into this, because culture, TV, all of these things that we serve, which are idols, these people, places, and things, the BET Awards, the Grammys, the music, the so-called culture of rap and hip hop, and that's their God, and they worship that was given to us by these so-called fake Satanists, Luciferianisms that want us to worship that instead of God, and give us every reason why we are following that instead of what God told us. Their money, their cars, their fame, their looks, their beauty, changing ourselves to look like them. Look at what is going on, and especially when it spoke about all of these things between Deuteronomy and now, our children, our marriages, everything is destroyed. Our whole lives is desecrated. Family, friends, mental, emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual well-being, our jobs, our money, everything. We have brought upon what? Curses, because we have taken upon those so-called ancestors, those gods and goddesses, those deities, which you see in all of these countries all over, from Africa to Haiti to all of these different countries. And when you look at them and you see the poverty, the destruction, this is why. So help me, Lord. This is why. They up under what? The curse. The curse for what? For blasphemy, for worshiping these gods, these idols that God told them specifically not to worship. These idols, these gods, yes, these shrines, these witchcraft, this sorcery, they are worshiping the Buddha, the Hindus, all of them are other gods. And when you look at these countries, a lot of them are very desolate. And the ones that are not, it's only because Satan is allowing them to do whatever they're doing, and they're being productive till a certain point, until he's ready to pull the leg out from under them. Now, remember, he ain't got no, he don't share his kingdom with nobody, and he ain't have no allegiances. You gonna think he do, but you don't. Now, let's look at this. Even with the Willie Lynch letter, is widely considered a constructed document, not an authentic speech, but it was written in 1712. It accurately reflects the real strategies used in slavery, and those strategies map eerily unto the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Why? Because this is what they practice in Egypt and Babylon and Chorazim and all of these places that God destroyed. These were the practices, and that's why they enslaved people. They had all the Molech worshiping, the Baal worshiping, the kids sacrificing, the molesting. And when you think of slavery in itself, because it's still going on, when we look at slavery, it is still going on. It's changed. Whether you're enchained in bondage, meaning at your job, or you're enchained in bondage, meaning being sold, when these sex traffickers and these human trafficking and the drugs, all of these things, whether it's the financial system, is bondage. Every kingdom, every system, when you think about the government, you think of everything is a chain, yoke, shackle, and a bondage. This is what this is about. Let's get into it. So Below is a full structure comparison. We're going to look at it. Generational, psychological, and spiritual comparison. Deuteronomy 28 to the Willie Lynch letter. Deuteronomy 28 establishes a covenant system for a generational blessing and generational curse based on alignment with God. Why? Because they want to leave God out. This is what this is about. Everything is about leaving God out. You cannot have life without God. You cannot have fruit without God. Why? Because a seed goes into the ground, and unless the Spirit, God germinates it, without the Spirit, it's dead. It's just there. So you can't have life without God because there's no life without God. So when you take it out, this is what you get. A whole lot of death, a whole lot of curses, a whole lot of dryness, a whole lot of disobedience. So the Willie Lynch letter established a system without God, remember? Generational control, division, and psychological slavery. It's not just psychological. It's mental, emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual. Why? Because they worship Satan. That is what that's about. Remember, there's just two kingdoms. So you're in God's or you're in Satan's. It doesn't matter what you say, what you're doing with God. No, you're either in one or the other. That's it. Goal in Deuteronomy 28 is life, abundance, identity, and legacy. Blessings are meant to elevate the people. This is why he structured it the way he did, where everything would be fair. People would have, this is what this is about. Now, Willie Lynch, Satan's system that he implements, constitutions, government, all of these things that he institutes, right? Caesar, all of it, Rome, this is what this is about. The Babylonian systems, all of that is still here. It never went away. Look at Catholicism. Look at all these things. The goal of the Willie Lynch letter is what? Goal is to bondage, confusion, dependency, and generational trauma. So when you think about it, it is the total opposite of what God gave us. So blessings and curses, right? Strategies are meant to break a people. That's what that's about. So now the core contrast, God builds generational strength. Oppression builds generational weakness. Generational blessings versus generational breakings, right? Okay, hold on. For those who have never actually read it, I want to pull it up because I want to compare it. I want to pull it up because we read that side and we're going to read this side because I want us to see this. Because we need to read it to see exactly what it says, exactly what is going on, which is the opposite of what God says. So the Willie Lynch letter, we're going to, let me go find, because it's not giving me it here. So I'm going to have to go on the web and look for it so we can actually read it. Because I read to you. Yeah, I read to you the Deuteronomy chapter 28. So now I want to read to you the Willie Lynch letter so that we will see, we can compare what God said. Okay, Willie Lynch is a speaker. He was known. Where is the actual? I want the actual letter. I don't want all of that. I want the actual letter. Okay. It's called The Making of a Slave. Okay, let me see. Okay, I need a better version of this because I can't really see that one. But I want to see it. Okay, I think this is it. It's not the one I need. I need another one. No, it's not that one. I need a different one. I need the one where I can actually read it. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, because I want the full text. Let me see. Is this it? Let me see. Okay. Okay, it says, from one white slave plantation owner to another. This is a speech by Willie Lynch on the shore of Virginia in 1712. Now remember, he is a slave owner. So it says, gentlemen, I greet you here on the banks of the James River in the year of our Lord. Remember, listen, dear Lord, 1,712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named after our illustrious King James, whose Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along the old highways in great number, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. Now remember, King James Version is a version of the Bible, but it's not the original version. The original version is the Bible. And you can look that up for yourself, and that was there before King James and all of this. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings. Remember, we're considered livestock here. This is why none of the constitutions are for us. None of the laws are for us because we're not considered human beings. We're considered to be property. That's why they don't go to jail for things they do. Why there's no laws that says that they have to. You are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know where your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am only here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if they're installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. Did you not hear what that said? My method is simple. Any member of your family or any overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. Differences, divide and conquer. And I take these differences and make them bigger. He magnifies them. Pay attention. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes of each other. House nigga, field nigga. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, so this is not a just here thing. It's all over. And it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. Okay, on the top of my list, he has age. Why does age matter? Old and young. Isn't that what it said in Dueteronomy? Okay, but it's there because it only starts with an A. The second is color or shade. What? High yellow and dark. Old against young, meaning when you tell somebody young something, they don't listen. Hard-headedness and the color. How bright you are. How dark you are. There is intelligence size. There's intelligence size. Only starts with A. The second is color shade. There's intelligence size, sex. So intelligence, education. Size, how big or small you are. Sex, meaning male or female. Size of plantations, attitudes and owners. Whether the slaves living in the valley or on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine or coarse hair, or is tall or short. So remember, these are the reasons, these are the ways he's going to use against us, to use against each other, to divide each other. So that we're fighting amongst each other always, based on those things. Your age, your sex, your race, your color, right? So if he implemented it right, it would happen for 300 years, it would still be working, right? So is it not still working? Is it not still working? Almost 400 years. Okay. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. So make us not trust each other, make us envy each other, stronger than adulation and respect and admiration. So envy, jealousy, if you admire somebody, it's out of deceit, all of these things. If you're stronger, what do we do? This is what we do. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become a self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. We will continue these ways once they entrap your mind to thinking like this. The black slave, after receiving, for 100 years, maybe don't forget you must pitch the old black person versus the young black, especially when it comes to the males. And the young black male against the old black male. Why? Because you can't tell them nothing. They think they know it all right. Why? The old people got some wisdom, but the young people don't listen. You must use the dark-skinned slave versus the light-skinned slaves. Ain't that what we do? The light, bright ones get married. The dark ones is ugly. We don't change our hair. We change our bodies. What do we? This is what we're worshiping their stuff. Because this is what they gave us. And the light-skinned slave versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the male and the female. This is what put us against each other. You must also have your servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it's necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. So we don't love and respect each other. This is Stockholm Syndrome. We love and respect them. And even the house nigga and the field nigga, the house nigga always was telling on the field nigga. Because he thought he was in master's house and he was doing something. Don't you see them house niggas that got more money, education, fame, little power when they turn? All them people on the wards and this, that, and the third for some money? Pay attention. Gentlemen, these kids are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them, meaning the white woman and her children. Never miss an opportunity. My plan is a guarantee. And the good thing about this plan is that if it's used intensely for a year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful amongst each other. They will continue to distrust each other. They will continue to not work with each other. They will continue to have these biases and hatred towards each other, meaning the female hating the male. Don't you... Okay, so you mean to tell me we're not living in this day and age? Honey, I need y'all to get a copy of the Willie Lynch letter. I need you for yourselves because I'm trying, let me see. I'm trying to get me a good copy of it. I really am trying to get me a full good copy because it's lengthy. And if you can look at the whole thing, you will see how it has still affected us to this day. It has. But these are their satanics that because remember, they practice the name of religion. But what they did was they took the original religion that we had, which was our religion, and they corrupted it. Because this is what Satan does. We see it even still. With demonic stuff. From whom Satan. This is his plan. Why? Because done right, it keeps us where? In bondage. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. You see everything. A degree will have folks arguing amongst themselves. This one is better. That one is not. The color, if you're lighter, if you're darker. If you got money, if you don't. How old you are to how young you are. Your financial, your mental, emotional, physical, financial status. This is what this is division about. But see, remember, these people practice their constitution and their stuff written by those who were in these divine nines, these Freemasonry. This is why you see those are the one making and setting these laws that do not protect the people. And they change them when they see fit to make it work for them. And nothing that they create or do they have to abide by. Only the people they put it upon. This is where the injustice, this is where the oppression is at. Now, see, I need to find an original copy of that letter, but I'm going to get into this because I wanted to get more. I need to find me a copy, and I've been looking for a full-fledged copy of it. And if I have to, I'll do another video because this one is already almost an hour in, and I haven't even touched the surface of this yet. I haven't even gotten to the surface of this yet. We are just getting here. Like, this is just so much to unpack. And people think it is a spiritual aspect behind it. And that's why it was implemented. Don't ever think the familiar spirits, the monitoring spirits, people who monitor you, to do things to you, to dislike you, the familiar ones that come around you, pretend that they like you so they can get your information. Who else? These are strategic. They're placed there. Certain people, places, and things Satan will send to you. Just like God sends you people to destroy your life. This is what this is about. And if we're not paying attention, and if we're not knowing, then this is how we will find. But it's all because of our disobedience. Why? Because we're out here still having sex and fornication without marriage, where all these things come in adultery. This is why we're worshiping their other gods, which is their money, their fame, their power, their music, their everything. We're just, our lives is based around that. And this is where the curse comes in. We had put these things before God. They talk about hip hop as a culture and all of what culture? What are you talking about? It saved people. Saved who? Oh my God. When I think about the foolishness that it has created, women being bees and hoes, broken families, shootouts, the stuff that's going on right now, the back and forth beef, so-called, for no reason. Just think about what is going on in this world. And we will see what, and it's given to us by these execs who are from where? These people who practice these rituals. They 1% of the world want us to have this. This is why nothing that they do is able to help Black people. Everything they do is the opposite. It might help one or two as long as they're on a string, but those are the same ones, the house niggas, that are doing what they are told to do, which is to monitor you and make sure you don't get nowhere unless you go through them, which is their contact is the middleman. It's who? The ones you see on BET. Them the ones gonna give you the contract to say so. Huh? Who you think sold Black folks into slavery? The own Black folks. For what? Guns and weapons. And those are not even, all the Black people are not Hebrew, Jew, or whatever descent. We went into that. I think I did a Israel, Hebrew, Jew difference. So please understand that, because we talk about all Black people. No, all Black people ain't your people. Please understand, they're not. And they will show you they're not by lying allegiances too. They're not to you. They don't care nothing about you. They just will make money and exploit you. Get money off of you. They ain't never give you nothing. Put nothing back. Turkey here and there. Man, please. And the moment you try to do something, you'll be in jail. Hold on, like I said. But it's not, honey, this is why they can't do nothing. They can't do nothing to help you. And when we sit here and we talk about the whole world being against us, that is why, because we have left God. Where God shows people everywhere in the world, Black people are treated, especially Black American people, are treated like the worst thing. Why? No matter where you go. This is why. That curse of disobedience led us right back into where? Bondage. Right back into where? Babylon, Egypt. Worshiping their what? Their gods. Doing exactly what God told them not to do. I brought you out. Remember where I brought you from. I'm your father. I love you. I'm your Lord and Savior. You put no one before me. If not, as much as I bless you, I will curse you. I will allow your enemies to take over you. I will allow them to destroy you. I will allow. Why? Because why would you go against me for them? That's Satan and his children. You went against me for them? Okay, let's get into it. Okay. Generational blessings versus generational curses or breaking. Dueteronomy 28, blessings. God promises fruitfulness, prosperity, strong families, victory over enemies, mental clarity, economic stability, leadership, not subjugation, generational increase. But what we would get if we do not, the total opposite. So instead of fruitfulness, we got lack. Instead of prosperity, we got lack. Instead of strong families, we got division. Instead of victory over enemies, we're defeated. Instead of mental clarity, we got nothing but confusion. Instead of economic stability, we are broke, poor, busted, and disgusted. Besides what we got on our back and whatever we so-called have, trying to floss, what do we really have? This is sad. Leadership, not subjugation, generational increase. We don't have none of those things. Most of us don't. And if we do, we get to a certain point and then it's gone. Why is that? We do not reap the fruits of our labor. The cankerworm, the palmer worm, the caterpillar, all of them is eating up your why. Where are they? Who are they? Where are they coming from? Eating up your crop, your harvest, your blessings, your breakthroughs. Why? Due to disobedience. Remember, we're like a plant. We're a garden. We're in the garden. We're planting. Now, either you're going to reap your seeds, or either you're going to be you fruitful, multiply, or you're not. It's gonna eat away. It's gonna do. This is what this is all about. Now look up what a cankerworm, palmerworm, caterpillar, locust do when it comes to crops, because those who are into farming know what they do. They eat up the crops. Remember we talking about the soils and stuff, how stuff grows, the seed. This is what this is about. It eats up whatever's growing. Willie Lynch strategy. The letter promises division, distrust, fear, dependency, broken families, confusion, psychological warfare, generational stagnation. So this is what they implemented satanically. Don't think it was by accident. No, it was implemented satanically, witchcraft, sorcery, whatever you, to put the curses upon us. Why? Injustice, all of these things, the chains, yoke, shackles, and bondage. Our families is in bondage. Why? Because we're not together. Our monies, whatever we're trying to do, we can only go but so far because we got the gatekeepers, and unless we cross over into their satanic worship, we won't have nothing. The chains, yoke, shackles, and bondage. Of what? Egypt. For what? Going back into their practice of sexuality, bestiality, all of these things. Pay attention. Direct opposite, where God says you will be the head and not the tail. Lynch system says keep them the tail forever. Family structure, Deuteronomy 28, blessing side. Strongholds. Strongholds is on the Deuteronomy 28 blessing side. Healthy marriages, generational continuity. Stability and identity, but on the Willie Lynch letter side, break the black family, reverse gender roles, make the woman independent but fearful, make the man weak, absent, or destroyed, create generational confusion. Is that not what the Willie Lynch letter is speaking about? Get you a copy and read it. Put it up to Deuteronomy 28. Read it for yourself. You will see what all on. I'm going to find it, and when I find it, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to let y'all see. I need to find a full copy of it where I can read it to you, so you will actually see what Deuteronomy 28 says and what it says. Deuteronomy 28:30, curse says, you will be engaged to a woman, but another man will sleep with her. Your sons and daughters will be given to another being. They will marry outside of their race. Mixing all of these different cultures that God specifically told us not to do. Because practicing what they practice, which is what? The things he said don't do. This mirrors the forced family separation and sexual exploitation described in the Lynch system. Is he not Willie Lynch, the one who lynched the people? This is what the lynch mob was after. Them hanging them from trees. Their bodies stunk. They were out there getting eaten. Hello. They were being butt broken. Where? In the slave houses. This is where that came from. Buck breaking, which is in those same nasty Hollywood, where they doing all that foolishness. Right. Where do you think this stuff comes from? This is what they worship. Satan. Psychological warfare. Deuteronomy 28 curses. If Israel breaks the covenant, mental confusion, anxiety, fear, madness, hopelessness, loss of identity. Booyah, where are we? Folks can't not be without weed, drink, partying, sexing, this, that. Come on now. Can we get out of that? Can we get in a conversation where we ain't got to be acting like, come on now. Oh, it's talking white. No, it's not. It's talking like a human being supposed to talk before they gave us that foolishness to act like that. They gave us that. Did you not see how they put the clothing, the this? They did that. Talking about that's us. No, that was not us. That is what they wanted us to be. And because we have no identity, we never knew who we was. Besides what they gave us and told us, that's what we became. This is sad. Willie Lynch letter says the entirety strategy is psychological. Break the mind. Exactly. The psychological warfare of being what? Loving our enemies more than we love each other. Why? Stockholm syndrome. Love the white men, love with everything they got, everything they say, everything they do, want to be like them, eat like them, talk like them, walk, do everything. Please, we need to stop this. Break the mind, create fear, destroy trust. Replace identity with dependency. And yes, make trauma hereditary and make it something worth glorifying. Hello. Don't you see where they get all these movies from? Tyler Perry, hint, hint. Every psychological thing we can go through, they want to put it up on a screen and they want to make some money off of it. Deuteronomy 28, the Lord will strike you with madness, blindness, confusion of the mind. This is exactly what the Lynch system aims to produce. Economic systems, Deuteronomy 28 is blessings. Ownership, wealth, increase, lending and not borrowing. Deuteronomy 28 curses, what? Loss of land, loss of wealth, foreign domination. Exactly. Economic exploitation, working but not benefiting. That is who? This is what they put in power, in place for us. And we're sitting here watching all of these idiots walk around talking about, oh, they're Christian and oh, they're dealing with these people. And these are the same people that got them there, that puts them in front of us to house niggas, to have us following behind them. Why? To do their bidding. So that they can get rich and we can sit here looking stupid as we've been doing. Willie Lynch letter, enslaved labor, no ownership, no generational wealth, total economic dependency, wealth extracted from the enslaved, never returned. Everything you do, they benefit. They get the lion's share, you get the crumbs. No matter how much you're working, this is curses. Witchcraft, sorcery, this is what they practice. The spiritual entity that they are worshiping, this is what it does. But because we are disobedient, because we go along with it. Deuteronomy 28:33, a nation you do not know will eat the fruit of your labor. A nation you don't know will eat the fruit of your labor. This is literally the economic structure of slavery. Are we not still there? And the sad part, it's not just us anymore. Because other races are the same, but they seem to think that they are better, and they're not. And they never open their mouths and help black people with anything. But now that they are going through the same things, now they want black people. No, because we're going to be together or we're not. This is whether you're white or any other. If you do not say nothing and you sit there and you watched it and you benefited and partake, you're just as guilty. In the church, out of the church, wherever. Remember, they got the Christian Illuminati now. You can't tell the difference. They down with the same foolishness. Yes. And when you look at them, you can tell because they look too much like them people. Not godly people separate. No, they look just like them. You can't tell who's who and what's what. Division as a tool. Deuteronomy 28 curses. Internal division, betrayal, loss of unity, social fragmentation. Do we not see this? Willie Lynch letter, division is the main strategy. Light skin versus dark skin. How we look, what we got. I can sit here and talk to y'all about anything in the world. Somebody with a big booty and a little waist and talking crazy, you would want to pay attention to her because she look cute and all that instead of listening to what I have to say. You would like, comment, share, subscribe, everything she got going on, but give me all kind of issues, problems, come at me all kind of crazy for what? Because I ain't looking and doing what you want me to do, being enslaved and trapped, because my mind is set free by the Lord, by the glory of God, that he set me free from this. Willie Lynch letter, division in the main strategy, light skin versus dark skin, old versus young, in competition. All of this is competition. Male versus female, competition. House versus field nigga, competition. Strong versus weak, competition. What are we doing? What are we doing? Because like this, we'll never get nowhere. This is why they sit around and show us the Epstein files. Nothing gets done. But let you go out there and do something simple and you'll be sitting in jail. Watch how that works. So you mean to tell me they can order up a so-called pizza and call that them killing children and all this type of stuff, and they don't go to jail, they don't get investigated, nothing happens to them? But if you do this minor thing, we talk about all people now, not even just black people, and nothing gets done. Where's the outrage? But see, where's your hearts? It was never in you anyway. Because if you could sit there and watch black people go through that, you have no heart, no way. This is the Satan way. This is his kingdom, his system. Where is your heart? Where is the love for people? Y'all love animals, have more rights than human beings, especially when it comes to black people. Y'all don't care. Just another black boy shot on the side of the street. Don't even matter to y'all. But this is where we are. And black people, I am charging y'all to wake up. This is your time to wake up and stop with this foolishness. It's not about just what you see. This is a spiritual battle and you're losing it. Why? Because you're not fighting spiritual. You're fighting in the natural. Period, point blank. We're out here in the natural just doing whatever, ready to fight. Listen, I'm learning myself because, honey, trust me, I'm speaking to you, but I'm speaking to me too. Why? Because all of this stuff is being shown to me along with you. I'm learning as I'm going with what I'm seeing, with what other people. Let's learn. Parallel describes into hostility, relational breakdown, the same outcome the lynch system intentionally engineers. What is this? Deuteronomy 28, 54 through 56. It describes internal hostility and relational breakdowns, the same outcome as the lynch system it intentionally engineered. So when we look at the two, this is what Satan gave us. See? Why? For disobedience. Identity and memory. Deuteronomy 28, the curse. Loss of identity, loss of name, loss of heritage, loss of language, loss of dignity. Who does that describe? Who does that describe? Black people. Willie Lynch let us strip identity, right? Replace names, remove heritage, remove language, remove dignity, replace culture with fear. They replaced us, including whitewashing Jesus, making him white, and all of this, stripped all of our identity, changed the maps, changed all of this to do this. This is why. This is a spiritual thing. These people worship the same gods. When you look at Freemasonry, they all have Freemasonry, all these different ties to who? These same type of systems. Worshiping these other idols and gods, man-made things that they have themselves. Deuteronomy 28:37, you will become an object of horror, a proverb and a byword among all nations. This mirrors the creation of racial stereotypes and the dehumanizing labels that they have placed upon Black people. Who is this speaking about? Everywhere you go, we this, we that, we that, we ain't. They created this. They created us when they took us from where they was, snatched everything from us, and gave us what they wanted us to have and think. Don't you see? But it's the devil using them to do this. Why? Out of disobedience. Generational impact. Deuteronomy 28. Blessings and or curses passed generationally, depending on alignment. So this is listen, it's in the bloodline. It's in the bloodline. This is why we see high blood pressure. Why? Because that's a part of that. Sickness, disease, poverty. Did you not hear all of those blessings or marriages? Or we don't get married, we have all these babies, there's no one there. If not, the womb is cursed, you don't have none, you're boarding. What do you think this is? Willie Lynch letter, trauma is engineered specifically to last 300 plus years. Through what? Fear, distrust, broken families, psychological conditioning. Where do we see that? The media everywhere, phones, television, that everything they have created, all of their kingdoms and systems of the world, is what? To destroy us. The food, the COVID-19, they're not allowing us to eat food. But see, the sad part, and I keep saying this too, because it's not just us that it's affecting. They're doing it for us, for Black people particularly. But see, all the other races don't see that it affects them as well. This is the sad part. And as long as they sit there and they go along and they benefit off of it when they feel like it and go back and forth, this is why it affects them too, because you reap what you sow. Remember that. So all of these cycles and all of this, the drugs and drugs, whatever it was of our men, whatever it is, turn them back on the neighbors too. Why they get for it to just be secluded to us. That's why we live in a certain place and they live away from us. So these things don't affect them. Oh, they got the red line and they got all of these things. Ain't nobody stupid. This is what this is all about. The boundary thing with the red line and picture guys would go not to go. Why? In certain places there's high traffic of drugs, guns, high sorcery, high. Why? Because their guys need bodies. They need wars. They need sacrifice. They need innocent bloodshed. This is what feeds them in the streets. Both documents understand generational transmission, but one is divine and restorative, and the other is demonic and destructive. But it's not just us, people. It's not just us anymore. And this is the sad part. So whatever they do to us, COVID-19, drugs, guess what? You're going to get it. Your community's going to have it. No matter what other race you are. Oh, they want to deport us? They're going to deport you too. You want them to kill us off? They're going to kill you off too. What you think? If you're not a part of their 1% and their bloodline and all of that, all of this stuff that's coming, what you think? The mark of the beast, the taking away food, the feeding us human beings. What do you think this is? Not just for one bit. No, it's gonna affect y'all too. So you can sit there, you can sit back, you can not care, you can continue in the churches and everywhere, not touch on it, not talk about it, thinking you're gonna be all right if you stay over there in your little corner and you just continue to get your little monies and do what they, and then eventually it's gonna knock at your door. That's why when stuff happens and folks don't care and they come knocking at your door, and then now you want everybody to feel sorry. Nobody feels sorry for you because you didn't feel sorry for nobody else. You reap what you sow. Why? You poured in nothing to help over there. So why would you reap anything, the benefits of someone come to help you? Booyah, let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. If you was not outpouring, outcrying, helping, caring about, doing anything about anybody else's situation, why should anybody come care about yours? Booyah, I'm done. So we're going to get into spiritual roots. Deuteronomy 28 is what? Covenant, obedience, identity, blessing, divine alignment, right? What does the Willie Lynch letter say? Oppression, manipulation, fear, trauma, control. This is why they get you young. Tear you right on up. Why you think they beat slaves? And then why? Because they know the bonds are stronger when you miss. Why you think people love people that hate them so? Because the bond is stronger with them people. They say it. The bond is stronger. So you love your Stockholm syndrome. You love the one that torment you. You love the one that torture you, beat you. You love the one that do love you. You hate the one that love you and love the one that... Don't you see what's bad is good and what's good is... This is the day and the time, baby. Let's open up our eyes and see, Lord Jesus, please help us. Spiritual opposites. One is a covenant of life. The other is a covenant of bondage. Final analysis. The deep truth is the Willie Lynch letter system mirrors the curses Deuteronomy 28 speaks about, not only because of the Bible predicted slavery specifically, but because any system built on oppression, injustice and stuff. Why did he give them that? Produces the same generational systems as a people out of alignment with God. Why? Because it is a continuation. That's why God was killing them off so it wouldn't continue to reproduce. Why? Because if we got trauma and fear, we reproduce with another child, it's going to reproduce trauma in them too. Deuteronomy 28 shows what happens when identity is broken. Don't know who you are, whose you are. Families are destroyed. Economics are controlled. Trauma is inherited. Unity is lost. Dignity is stripped. Willie Lynch's system intentionally created these exact conditions. Why? To create the making of what? A slave, bondage, Egypt. All of these, look up Rome, Babylon. This is what they was doing. How you think the pyramids and stuff? Off the backs of them slaves. Like here, America, nowhere else. What you think? And who benefited? Did they benefit? No, they worked, but they did not reap any reward, any benefit off of it. Why? That is bondage, slavery, chains, yokes, shackles, bondage of your life. It's not just in one, it's in everything. Please pay attention. Your mental is bondage. Your emotional, financial, your spiritual, your physical. Why? It creates ailments, sickness, disease, poverty. What do you mean, folks? Dying of what? Everybody got stress, oppression, all these things. Cancer, sugar, what they call it, arthritis. What else we got? Cancer, congestive heart, all these things. They didn't say that was from them. Those are their diseases, but they were given to us. Why? Because of disobedience and dealing with them and all the stuff that they're doing to us, putting in our food, all kind of stuff, right? Diabetes, cancer, what else is it? They got high blood pressure. All in. Why do you think this stuff? And it runs in the family. That's why they ask you when you go to the doctor, because it's there. It affects your health, all of it. And these are symptoms of the curses. Specific curses for specific things. And when you look at Levitical and between Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, you'll see them. I've gone through them. If you look at the videos in the past that I've done, I go chapter from Genesis up to now. We're in Deuteronomy 28. And this is where we are. So the system, any system built on oppression produces the same generational system as a people out of alignment with God. Deuteronomy 28 shows what happens when identity is broken, when families are destroyed, when economics are controlled, when trauma is inherited, when unity is lost, dignity is stripped. This is what happened, and he did all of those things intentionally. But it was our disobedience because God told them not to do these things, not to go over there, not to be bothered with the people, not to mix, not to marry, not to mingle, not to worship their gods, not to do all of these things. He said he created the boundaries of where their line and properties was, where they was to worship, where they was to do this. This is, yeah, that part. So the Willie Lynch system intentionally created those exact conditions. One is a divine warning. The other is human evil, not human, satanic. But the generational effects overlap. Let's get more into it. Side-by-side comparison of the Willie Lynch lineage healing plan. We're going to look at it. Deuteronomy 28. This is a generational, psychological, spiritual, and structural analysis. The purpose of Deuteronomy 28 is covenant blueprint for blessing, curse, or curse based on alignment with God. It just based on that. It builds identity, dignity, and generational strength. Blessings elevate a people. Willie Lynch letter, the blueprint was for generational psychological slavery and control. Destroys identity, dignity, and generational strength. Strategies is to break a people. That was Satan's answer for that. To be the opposite, in opposition, opposing, not aligned. Always trying to destroy or do, instead of, one interpretation. One is divine covenant, the other is engineered bondage. Family structure, we're going to look at it. Deuteronomy blessings, 28. Strong households, generational continuity and stability. This is what the blessings. Willie Lynch's strategy was to break the black family, reverse the gender roles, remember, homosexuality, make men weak and women fearful, and make them at odds with each other. Women strong, men weak. Deuteronomy 28 curses. Families are torn apart, children taken, marital instability. Does that not mirror all of that? The Lynch system intentionally produces family breakdown described in Deuteronomy 28 curses. Exactly. Identity and memory. Deuteronomy 28 is blessed. The blessings considered clear identity, covenant memory, and beloved people. Deuteronomy curses has become a byword, loss of heritage, loss of dignity. Now, where did Lynch come in? It was a part of that. Stripped identity, replaced memory with trauma, rename, rebrand, and dehumanize. This is what that was. This is how we got from there to there. Both systems understand that identity is generational currency. Why? Because if you don't know who you are, they can give you and manufacture you whatever it is they want. And that's what they've been doing. The weaves, the this, the bodies, the this, the lips. Why? We was fine. They came and gave us all of this foolishness, and now we done changed everything. If you ain't got a BBL, you is considered less of a woman, not a woman, whatever it is. If you walk around here looking regular, you are considered to be the outcast. And folks look at me, and I'm looking at them because you look like the blow-up doll, not me. Everything I got beside, honey, I might put a lash on me, honey, and I can take this off and still walk around. Baby, please. Ain't nobody got time for that. Folks is just a little bit too much now. Even if I wouldn't got my hair done, but it's not even about, because that's what it is. A look. If you don't look good, if you don't have this, if you don't, come on now. This is the idols that they've created. This is the gods that they worship. And that's the problem. Economics. So they replaced the God we have for what? What you see. Lashes, BET Awards, the Grammys, the Super Bowls, and, the P. Diddy's and whoever's of the world that they worship. Those are their gods. When you go to their ceremonies, Beyonce and them, you can't talk bad about this or that. That's who they worship. Them are their idols, them are their gods. When they go there, they get their satanic rituals, they get their feel. That's like them going to the satanic church to worship Timothy LaVey, all of them. They'll be happy. Aleister Crowley, they'll love this. They love it. Why? Because this is what they wanted. Willie Lynch, he loves it. Nicki Minaj up there, the same people that wanted to lynch you, and you're up there rolling around with these same folks that do not care nothing about you in particular. They just like the fact that they put you there so you can be over who? You can be a house nigga, monitoring the field niggas, making them do everything. They use you as the puppet. And when they done, they gonna get rid of you too. You're just there to keep them informed with what the black people got going on. Why? Because you the go-between. You the traitor. Slavery couldn't happen if the Africans wasn't in tune and dealing with the white folks. Why? Because if they were not dealing with them, we wouldn't have been able to been sold. There has to be some type of middleman that is benefiting off of it. The people you have around you mean so much because that's how you get infiltrated. Somebody around you said or did something to your enemy. They got together. Economics, Deuteronomy 28 blessings will be ownership, wealth, and increase. Willie Lynch strategy is no ownership, enslaved labor, and dependency. Deuteronomy 28 curses, foreigners consume your labor. Ain't that what's going on? Borrowing, not lending. Economic exploitation. But it's not just for us. It's for all of us now. We all work a 9 to 5. We all can't afford housing. We all can't afford this. Honey, bye. It ain't just black folks, honey. Folks is on drugs and they ain't black. See? Slavery is the embodiment of Deuteronomy 28's economic curses, psychological warfare. Here we go. Deuteronomy 28 blessings, mental clarity, courage, confidence. Willie Lynch strategy is to break the mind, instill fear, create dependency. Deuteronomy 28, the curses will be madness and confusion. Doesn't that sound like breaking of the mind? Anxiety and dread. Doesn't that sound like instilling fear? Hopelessness. Doesn't that sound like creating dependency upon who? Upon them. Because if they can feed you, they can starve you. The Lynch system manufactures the mental conditions described in Deuteronomy 28. Here is Satan with his answer to that. Booyah. Social division. Here we go again. Deuteronomy 28 says blessings. Remember, you choose which one you want. So either you chose a blessing or you chose the curse. It's up to you what you choose. But you the one choosing. God said it before you. If you choose him, you have life. You have blessings. If you choose them, you're going to have death and curses. Deuteronomy 28 blessings is unity. Community is strengthened. Unity because we're divided. Community is strengthened. Shared identity. Why? We going to share things. We going to do what we need to do for each other and not be out here doing opposite, sharing with everybody else but each other. Willie Lynch strategy is to divide by skin, tone, age, gender, education, economics, all of these things. Don't you see it? Ain't that what they're using? Right. Distrust as control. Competition as suspicion. Oh, they doing a very good job 400 plus years later. Deuteronomy 28 curses. Internal hostility. Doesn't that sound like skin tone, age, gender, and all them? Why? Because you got a problem with how you look. Got a problem with what you're thinking. With social fragmentation. Distrust as control. It's all about me syndrome. Right. And betrayal. Because we're too busy competing and trying to get over on each other. Outdo each other. And suspicion. We got to have that because ain't nobody trust nobody. Division is a curse. And the Lynch system weaponizes it. Why? They use it on their behalf. Deuteronomy 28, this is a complete mapping. Deuteronomy 28 curses equals the Lynch equivalent. So these equal that. And I'm going to show you Deuteronomy 28 curse, confusion of the mind. Lynch equivalent, psychological breaking. 28, fear day and night, fear-based control. Right. Oppression and robbery, enslaved labor. Children being taken, family separated. We see that. We've been seeing that. And we've gotten so accustomed to it because single parent homes, fornication, all these things. We just so accustomed to it. So it's not even like it's something big now. Why? Because that's what happened with sin. Once you get involved with disobedience and sin, minor things become, you continue on, and it's the cycle. How you think, your mind, thoughts, that becomes what? Words, that become actions, habits, then they become what? Cycles, that become, patterns, and then cycles. And this is what we have. So marriage violated, sexual exploitation, hey. Strangers ruling over you, slave masters. Hey, we got men that we don't even know if they're men or women. Becoming a byword, racial slurs, stereotypes. No rest for the sole of your foot, forced labor, meaning can't even retire good. Madness and blindness, trauma and conditioning. Working but not benefiting, plantation economy, meaning you go to work, you make just enough, and that's it. You're not able really to do much. Loss of identity, renaming and rebranding. But they keep talking about, your brand. We ain't even people no more. We brandings. Does that let you know? Don't they brand horses? That let you know you're just cat's hole. Internal hostility. Divide and conquer. Hey, they've been doing it all the time by race, color, creed, education, economics, all of this. Why? Because if you ain't got that, you're considered to be a nothing and a nobody. This is what we're doing. This is what we've been doing. But this needs to stop. Hunger and thirst. Resource deprivation. Yeah, when you're depraved. Foreign domination, colonialism, and slavery. Being returned to Egypt, meaning bondage. Transatlantic slavery. This is the most complete generational comparison you can build. Lineage healing plan, because we need to get up out of this. We have to. We cannot stay here. We cannot continue to be this way. But first we got to what? Repent and go back to who? God. Let him do it. Jesus is the only way. Why? Because we can't have the blessings without having them. See, that's the problem. Everybody wants the blessings, wants all the stuff, but they want God out of it. You cannot have a life in this world without the one who gives life. Everyone wants to be God. You can't create life. God is the one that creates life. See? He's the one breathing to us spirit. We can't breathe spirit into ourselves. No. Part 3, lineage healing plan. Break Deuteronomy 28 curses and Willie Lynch patterns. We're going to break it down. 1, restore identity. Reclaim your name, story, and lineage. You got to get into your word and ask God who you are, where you come from. God will tell you. Break shame-based narratives. Exactly whatever was going on to have you shame, because Christ went upon the cross for this, and he took all of this so that we can live life here abundantly right here on earth, not waiting on everything we get to heaven. No, there's things we supposed to get right here, and we gonna stop going to these church talk my name and claiming and give us all your money for you to pay for them by a blessing. No, we not doing that no more. We can't. We see that's not working. We see they are part of them people in those systems. That's not what God says in his word. Heal family structure. Rebuild covenant identity. 2 is heal family structure, right? We got to have family. God created us to be family. Heal family structure, restore fatherhood without domination. Fathers need to be not gay and in the homes and doing what they need to be doing. Not just saying you want to lead, but actually leading. Can't tell the woman she got to do everything while you sit around and want to lead her. No, if you're going to lead, you must also handle the finances and everything else, because that is what God said your job is. You can't be the table and the prize and expect somebody to cater to you like a female, and you want to be a man and rule like a male. That's not going to work. Restore motherhood without fear. Exactly, because women can't rest. We can't relax, and we got to be the male. We're not supposed to do that. Rebuild trust between genders. This is where that's going to come in. Heal sibling rivalry and colorism. Why? Because we have a lot of that going on. Who's lighter? Who's darker? Who's this? Who's that? Who's smarter? Who's that? This is terrible. It's ridiculous. And it really is petty. And it's just too much. I can't. Break psychological patterns. Fear to courage. Confusion to clarity. Distrust to discernment, dependency to empowerment. This is what we got to do. Rebuild economic foundations. Ownership. Oh, wow. When I told folks about ownership, having something, they still argue me down about being a homeowner or being any type of anything, having anything, because we do not have no legacy to live. You're supposed to leave our children's children something. And if we're not able to even barely provide for them, that is a problem. That is a part of the curse. And when we see one trying to do it, we want to tear them down. We need to stop that. That's a part of the Stockholm Syndrome. This is what they want us to do, to be against each other, divided at each other instead of working against them. And this is where this comes in at. Ownership, skill building, financial literacy, cooperative economics, and generational wealth planning. Why? We need to build wealth together amongst ourselves. They got us, when they talk about Martin Luther King, all of them, look up who they were. Martin Luther King's name was Michael King before he became Martin Luther. They was practicing all that stuff. He became a part of them people. They was a part of all of that other stuff, the skull and bones of this, that, and the third. Why? Because when you are dealing with the government, you got to go through them and their stuff. That's that Freemasonry. That's that secret society. That's all of that stuff. You're not going to come in there and just get in there and be doing well. No, because everyone has gifts and talents. How did you make it? Why? The gatekeepers and the secret society. They got stuff they would never tell you because that's how they made it. It's things they did spiritually that they, whether it was buck breaking, all of that, whatever it was to them deities, and that's how they got there. Rebuild community and unity. Anybody they set before us, please understand, if they setting them before us, okay, they are part of the problem. They are part of them. Rebuild community unity in division. Heal colorism. Restore intergenerational respect. Build collective identity. In the division, right? Healing colorism. Why? Because we can't say, oh, she light, she dark, this one ugly, that. We can't. Restore intergenerational respect. Why? Respect from the old to the young, from the male to the female. We gotta get this together. Build collective identities. Back to what God told us to do originally. He had the boundaries. He gave them the blueprint. He gave them the outline of the land where they're supposed to be, all of this stuff. They went and started, we ain't even got there yet, but obviously something went on. Part 4, framework. Identity restoration, teach covenant identity in community spaces, meaning we need to have something besides, rapping and all these playing bowl. That's their stuff. They love to have us doing that to entertain them and making money off of us. Okay, that's a part of their stuff. Rebuild pride and lineage and history. That means looking into what is really going on with our lives, our lineage. And we're not going to talk about them ancestors they keep talking about. It's ours. That is them familiar spirits, the monitoring spirits, them shrines, them deities, them gods and goddesses that they over there worshiping in all these other countries. Because that's what they're doing. Those are not my ancestors. I'm telling y'all. And they're not yours either. With them unks. No, they are not. Those are the ones Jesus told us not to be bothered with. When I say Jesus, I'm talking about I am the Father. He told us not to deal with them. This is why we're in bondage now. Counteract stereotype with truth. This is where we are. Let's find out the truth. Let's research. When Pastor Darby talked about Negro land, there was a place they call us niggas, Negroes for a reason. There was a Negro land and they were well there. That is a part of the place, I believe, in that area where the land is that they're fighting over now. But see, because the maps are distorted and them people ain't the people they're supposed to be, they fighting over the land that originally belongs to the chosen people. But those are not the chosen people. The people that are chosen was in the transatlantic slave trade. Those are the black people who are scattered among the whole world, all of the nations, who are the ones that are under the curse. Why? Because we are still doing what we're told not to do. Practicing the practice of Babylon and Egypt. Worshiping their gods and doing what they're doing. We're so involved with all of this stuff. Economic liberation, cooperative economics, community investment circles, skill sharing networks, entrepreneurship incubators, meaning getting our money, getting our minds, getting ourselves together. But you can't build with people who are still minded with that. And you can't build and grow with people who want to be in the hole, in the boat, and against you and all that. You can't do it with them. Because they're going to be more of a hindrance. That's why God said you got to get rid of them. Family healing, trauma-enforced parenting. Exactly. Trauma-informed parenting, meaning we see it, now we can deal with it. Because a lot of time we don't. We don't see it, we don't know it. Fatherhood restoration programs. Exactly. Mother support networks. Youth mentorship. These things we're going to have to start putting in place in order for us to be able to have something for us in order to get to the healing. But God has to do it in our hearts and in our minds first. This is what we need our, going through the wilderness thing. Psychological liberation. That's why you got to get with God when you first get saved, and you got to be with him for some time, because he has to deprogram all of that stuff. That Stockholm syndrome of having all of that in your life and in your mind with all these people, places, and things. He got to get that out, because there's no way in the world he can move forward with you until he gets you to a place where that mindset and that heart is healed from all that. That's why it's a process. Salvation is a process of slowly giving God what it is, all of that hurt, all that pain, all these years, all the stuff you thought you knew and didn't know. You got to give it to him. Why? So that he can take it and he can show you how. Because you don't know love. You don't know how to love God. You don't know how to love yourself, let alone nobody. He has to take you and love you and teach you how to love him. Teach you how to love yourself, how to love him, and then you can love others. This is what this is about. Because without love, you can't do none of these things. You can't help people if you ain't got no heart for them. You can't. If you don't care what happens to them, you can walk past them and there's nothing. How are you going to help them? Psychological liberation, therapy, access, healing circles, spiritual grounding, emotional literacy. Now, some of these things, spiritual grounding, I don't believe in that stuff because they want like to word these things. Therapy, depending on who it is, because you got to have people that's doing therapy that's really, because, healing circles, I'm trying to figure this out. Emotional literacy, you got to be careful all of that stuff, because you got to be careful. You start with you and the Lord first. Get in your Bible, get in your word, because if you can't be saved at home, you can't be saved nowhere else. I tell people that. Running to the church ain't going to help you. You just crack your Bible up, open on Sunday when you in the church, that's not going to help you. If you can't crack your Bible open at home during the week by yourself, then you might as well go ahead, because they say you're going to need, this is what you got to eat daily. Your spiritual food is reading your word. Like I said, a chapter a day. Do a chapter a day, and then get you started. Listen. Community unity, cross-neighborhood collaborations, anti-colorism, education, intergenerational storytelling. Well, if we got to find out the real truth. But yeah, this would work a little bit. The cross neighborhood collaboration, yeah, because folks got to stop thinking they better, and they got to stop thinking all of this is the problem with that. Generational deliverance. Declaration set, identity, my lineage is not cursed, it is reclaimed. Exactly. I break every false identity placed on my ancestors. Well, I ain't thinking about no ancestors. Every false identity placed on the people before me, but if they did it, then they did it. I walk in covenant identity, not trauma identity. And that's another thing, because once we're in it, we got to come out of it, because it's a part of us, but it can't be forever the story. Family, my lineage restores what slavery tried to destroy. We rebuild trust, unity, and generational strength. We honor each other without fear or domination. My mind is clear, whole, and aligned with truth, meaning God. Confusion breaks, fear breaks, trauma loses its power. My lineage, economics. My lineage moves from extraction to ownership. We build wealth that heals generations. Right. We are lenders and not borrowers. And this is what God originally, when you look back, this is the way he designed it. And when we live the way he told us to live, it would be a lot different. But because we don't, we live the opposite. This is why. Community division breaks in my bloodline. Unity is our inheritance. We rise together, right? Because one person rises and the rest of us not. When you make it, you're not supposed to make it just for you by yourself. If you're not making it with you and your whole family intact, then honey, then you're not making it. You're not. It's me, I. This is what they got us doing. We're supposed to live the way we're supposed to. Community, meaning helping one another. Community workshop, curriculum, Lynch, curse, and reclaiming Dueteronomy blessing. Session 1, understanding generational systems. When we look at these systems of the world, we got to see what they are, and we got to, listen, we got to align with the systems of God. Align with the systems of heaven. The kingdom of systems, not the ones here. Deuteronomy 28 overview, Willie Lynch overview, how systems shape identity. Session 2, family reconstruction, healing fatherhood and motherhood, ending gender-based division, restoring trust. Session 3, yeah, okay, I think I went through this. All right, we are done. I don't want to go through it again. Covenant restoration, reclaiming blessings, breaking generational curses, establishing new lineage. Okay, hold on here, let me go through it. Session 1 will be understanding generational systems. That means Deuteronomy 28 overview, Willie Lynch overview. How systems shape identity, exactly. Session 2, family reconstruction, meaning healing fatherhood and motherhood. Ending gender-based division, restoring trust. Session 3, psychological liberation, meaning trauma patterns, fear conditioning, and mental clarity practices. Session 4 will be economic rebuilding, cooperative economics, wealth literacy, ownership pathways. This is what we need. Session 5, community unity, ending colorism, intergenerational healing, and collective identity, meaning getting us together how we need. Listen. Session 6, covenant restoration, reclaiming blessing, breaking generational curses, establishing new lineage paths. I know God can do it. This I do know. If I don't know nothing else, I know God can do it. He can heal all of this. He can deliver it, and he can, yes. He can do it. And now that we see what is going on, this one was a long one. I want all of you to go and find you a copy of the full whole. I mean, seriously, because it's like I've been looking and I'm like, I find little bits. I want the full one where I can read the whole thing. And I've been on here, but I got some other stuff. Deliverance prayers for each. Okay, let me see. We do have some deliverance prayers. I would like to do one. Identity confusion. God, restore my lineage, true identity. Break every false name, label, and narrative. 2, fear. I break the spirit of fear that entered my lineage through trauma and oppression. 3, family destruction. I restore the divine order of family in my bloodline. 4, economic exploitation. I break every cycle of extraction, poverty, and lack. This also goes with late, delays, stagnation, and backwardness. Division, I uproot every seed of distrust, colorism, and internal hostility. 6, mental confusion, I declare clarity, soundness, and peace over my lineage. Bondage, I break every generational chain that mirrors slavery. That's my mental, emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual. I will not be chained, yoked, shackled, and bound. Not to this world, not to the systems or kingdoms of this world, not to Satan. I will only be chained, yoked, and shackled to Christ because he is the one that liberated me. Bondage, I break every generational chain that mirrors slavery. Part 5, the identity, we reclaim our names, our stories, and our dignity. 2, family, we rebuild households with strength, honor, and healing. 3, economics, we move from extraction to ownership. Community, we reject division and build unity across blocks, buildings, and generations. That's your community and not just yourself. Healing, we confront trauma with truth, compassion, and courage. 6, legacy, we build systems that outlive us, meaning we got to have something. So we want to get, we want to remember the covenant, what disruptions, what we chose, the survival, the awakening, the restoration. We want to remember these things, but I'm gonna end it because this video is kind of long, and I'm hoping it's gonna be able to post. Okay. Yeah, because this video is almost, I'm hoping it's going to be able to post, but it was a lot. It was a lot in this one. I was going to do it at the end, but once we got here and I said, oh, wow, but because I don't know, I haven't read 29 yet, but when I start reading it, I see what it's going to be what, and then I'll go from there. But I do want to get a full version of the Willie Lynch letter, the full version where it goes into detail what they did, how they did it to get us to where we are now. And when you look at it, you'll see all of the implementations that they did is still working because it's still going on to this day. And these things have really been a part of witchcraft, sorcery, or whatever to keep us chained, yoked, shackled, and bond, oppressed, injustice, all of these things. And when we look at them, we understand, it's more than just we live in this world situation. And when you look at that letter, you start to understand, and it's nothing but Satan using people, because we got to remember, Satan used people, places, and things. Okay, and because he uses people, places, and things, this is how we end up in the bondage. But it's up to us. God says, choose ye this day blessings or curses, and especially for his people, which we see who his people are. Like I said, Stephen Darby was talking about this before he ended up dying, and he was about to launch a lot of things, and it would have been a great, wonderful thing, especially for Black people. It would have been very empowering, but we must understand the enemy is real, even though we know God, listen, the devil serves God and only God. We already know this because every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And even with Satan, he knows who his master is. So be blessed. I love you guys. I hope this word was a blessing to you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe so that others can see it, hear it. We can break down the chains, yoke, shackles, strongholds of bondage upon our lives, upon our minds, about who's who and what's what. Love you guys. Also, if you would like, you could also donate to the channel. It would be a blessing if you like. If not, I don't require it. God provides for me. But yes. But be blessed in the name of the Lord. Later.